Grace, and I'm going to do something about gaslighting. It could be an accumulation of stories here. I went back and watched a video last night of mine where I said at the beginning I was going to do something about gaslighting, and it turned into something else, and at the end of it I said to be continued, and that was 2 months ago, around 2 months ago. And yeah, some more things come up, and so I'm going to talk about gaslighting in a way. But as I was getting ready to leave this morning to go check my mail again, finally, I was trying to get the dogs in the car, in the SUV, back of it, and one of them was, the one that I got in first, he wasn't letting the other one in, and the other one gave up, and, you know, he was like he was trying to help. It was a mess, and while I was doing that, something happened. That neighbor that we thought moved, no, they haven't. But we knew, you know, the bad neighbor, that we knew they hadn't moved. And when the man, he has left, but he comes back. And when he comes back, when he's gone, they'll do that same thing again. The woman and those caregivers, they park behind our driveway, or, you know, just do something to try to stir stuff up. And they're supposed to be moving, I think, sometime next month, totally. You know, the wife will too. And, you know, their house, the whole household. And so when I was putting the dogs in, one of them drove up and parked right at the end of my driveway. Yeah, and I was standing there. I didn't say it, shout it out or anything. I said, I'm going to go get my okay, you saw the school zone. I had to put my phone down. You can't use cell phones in school zones. Anyway, I went, you know, I said to myself, oh, I got to get my cell phone to, you know, video it. And she moved. I don't think she could hear me. The window wasn't, you know, rolled down. I didn't say it all that loud. But I went back in the house, got my cell phone, and taped the rest of it, you know, video. But she moved up. Okay, but she had made a point to stop right there, you know, at the end of my driveway. Yeah, that was one of their caregivers, and that's how my morning has started so far. You know, I was thinking about this gaslighting thing, and to me, gaslighting, let me get this part out. Gaslighting means when somebody tries to kind of like destroy your reality, or say your reality isn't real. And they do different things to make it seem like what you're thinking is not right. And these could be as much as saying something like, I never told you that, or even saying, I told you that. You know, like, let's say Narcissist this time. You know, I switch back and forth, all about me people, but these are a little bit different. You know, they, or not really, but they'll say, you know, for them, since they think you're an extension of them, they might actually believe they told you something because they told themselves. You know, they know themselves. Because they're mini-me. You're an extension of them in their minds, you know, in their minds only. But they will, you know, or like I said, they'll say the opposite. I never told you that. Or they'll take something like, say you go to the store and you grocery shop and you buy something they like, and you buy something you like a snack or something like that, dessert. And you put them in the, say it's in a box or whatever, you put it in the refrigerator, wherever. Then days later, you're not going to eat it right then. Days later, you go back to find it. And when you go back to find it, it's not there. And you ask them, you know, did you move it or something like that? They said, no, I didn't move it. But they did. But you know you didn't eat it. You left, you know where you put it. And it's not there, and you never find it. You never find it. They deny having eaten it. And some people say, well, you know, they just ate it. But no, with this type, that's gaslighting. They're making it your reality not real. And you know, this is my definition, but my examples from my experiences, like I said, say every video, read the description box on YouTube underneath this video, and that's my disclaimer. I'm not a healthcare professional provider and all that. Don't take this as counseling advice or anything like that. Now, gaslighting can go even deeper than that, and in a way you could say what these this neighbor is doing, you know, has done in the past and everything, is along that same kind of line. You know, by telling the police officer that she called the 911. I'd called just a regular non-emergency when they would come charging across the neighborhood. You know, her and the one female owner and one of her caregivers came charging across the neighborhood, across the grass, and all this kind of stuff at me. They told officers the story. Now you can say that's just lying, but they set up a scene where it looks like the person who is the victim, I use that term victim, is the reality isn't real. They'll set it up where other people, officials or something, or even doctors, there was a play and then a movie. The play was Gaslight, I think it was 1938, and the movie was, I can't remember, but they set it up to where the person that's the victim looks like they're not normal. Something's wrong with their memory. Okay, I just had to go through a windy, twisty part of the road, and of course it was somebody that was in a big automobile right on my tail trying to go faster, and you can't go faster because it's all windy and everything, and you've got drop-offs. Then it was a school zone, and it was back to back, just backed up real far. Anyway, another example of gaslighting is, say you were there to witness something that happened. Okay, something bad that happened that the narcissist, or someone even call sociopaths, because this tends more to be the sociopath. But say that person did something really awful to somebody, and you were there, or over the phone, or whatever it was. You were there and you witnessed it. And afterwards you said, why did that happen? What did you do along that line? And they say it didn't happen. You don't know what you're talking about. Nothing like that happened. What are you talking about? Where's your brain? Why would you make up something like that? Okay, I stopped to get something to eat, and while I was at the post office, when I got out, something happened that reminded me of another way of gaslighting. And that is when I was through most of my adulthood. I'm 52. I'll be 53 in less than a month. Ooh, something caught my throat. But all my adulthood, pretty much, people treated me as though I was much younger than my age, because I looked much younger than my age. I really did until I turned 50, and then it started going, closer to what my age. But people who knew me, these are the narcissistic type, people who knew me, they would still treat me much younger than my age, even though they knew my age. And that, to me, is another form of gaslighting, is to not treat you as the person you are, but the person they want you to be. And that messes with your reality of who you are yourself. And earlier this morning, I was thinking of this one also, is when you have, like you've had a major accomplishment in your life, or not really a major, but a major for you, your community, or whatever, your social circle, whatever it is, it was a major accomplishment. And you're not one to brag or, pat yourself on the back all the time in front of people, brag. And you really hadn't processed so much in your mind, how great of an accomplishment that was. But the narcissistic type, or a sociopath or whatever, they jump quickly to let you know that it was not that big of a thing. It's not that big of a deal. In other words, that other people would think it. You would think it if somebody else did it too, that kind of thing. But they're going to put it off as, it's not that big of a deal. It wasn't such an accomplishment after all other people have done it. This kind of thing, to not let you get the real feel for what other people might be thinking of you. Other people that are not so unhealthy. Okay, so in other words, they can mess with your self-identity, your self-esteem comes along with it, your self-worth. They could, if we don't want to blame the victim. But they could mess with that, or they attempt to mess with it. And it's just, there's so many things that gaslighting could, things that could fall under gaslighting that they do, is to really mess with your reality of, make you feel like you're crazy, like you forgot something, or you made something up, or, what you are is not what you are. And you might, they might even say other people are embarrassed because you feel like, it's something, and you're not even saying it's something like a great accomplishment. You're not saying it, but they jump in and say, other people don't tell other people about that, because that's kind of embarrassing. They're going to tear it down somehow, your reality, or what you think is and know is reality. Okay, that pretty much wraps it up about gaslighting. Basically it's intentional to try to make you think there's something crazy about you, or you're messed up, or make somebody else think that. your memory's going, something that you're off and they're not, or just that you are. And that way they can get away with a lot of other things, because people start doubting you and believing them. So now I've done that, I want to start on the other part of it. Boy, this thing next to me is noisy. But the other part that I did on that video that I said to be continued about was about going no contact with certain family members.